So, so if you went on an Allied Co-op field trip, you might be busy right now. Just reading keys. If you went on an Allied Co-op field trip, could you please put your hands in the air and stand up? All right. So we all went on this field trip, and this was in June, and we were talking. We've been talking for a long time about taking a field trip. But years ago, when we first started to bring time making into the Allied Drive neighborhood, people in the neighborhood really liked the idea of having a store, because people just really felt like people in the neighborhood would really want to know they could get something that was valuable to them in exchange for their service. And we knew that there were time making stores in St. Louis, so this was in 2007, I think, 2006. A group of people from the neighborhood and a couple staff people from the Time Make all took a trip to St. Louis and visited their time making stores. And it was such a huge inspiration to us because all of a sudden we saw regular people doing this really cool thing, and it didn't look as hard as we thought it would. And it was a really good way for us to get to know each other and get to know other people doing similar work. So now that we're ready to take the co-op, the Allied Co-op, to the next level, we thought it'd be cool to go to St. Louis and learn about what's happening there and what has happened historically. But also go to New Orleans, where we could really learn about the tradition of mutual aid societies. So we're mutual aid networks, and part of the inspiration, or a huge part of the inspiration for part of this model, which is saving money together and using it to meet each other's needs by pooling our money, was something I learned about at the Backstreet Cultural Museum in New Orleans. It's an old African-American tradition that kind of petered out in the 30s because it was co-opted by for-profit insurance, but it's a tradition and it's a tradition that happens all over the world all the time. Currently, there are millions of names for it. There were people in a situation where they don't have a lot of money. A lot of times it's an immigrant community will put their money together and use it to meet each other's needs. So that's what we did. We met some of you there. Did you raise your hand if we met you in St. Louis? Great. So thank you very much for hosting us. And if you guys want to take it away about some highlights about what we learned and saw and did, including, I will say, a couple of people from our party were talking about going and buying some beads, and our host in New Orleans, Gretchen, who's the founder of the Time Make there, said, "No, let them buy beads," and she loaded us up with this huge bag. So we can get Gretchen. I'll take a picture of everyone with your beads on so we can send it to her. Who wants to start with highlights of the trip?
I know.
Oh, wait, Gloria just raised her hand first.
That'll be quick.
Let Gloria go.
I'm Gloria, and we had a really awesome time going traveling from Ashland to St. Louis in a small car. We had an opportunity of watching all the conflict change into a good relationship. So in St. Louis, we had an opportunity and privilege to meet individuals who were really very fighting for justice, in which we saw in both places, St. Louis and New Orleans, that validated what we're doing here in Texas. We did learn some different things that what we're not doing yet. Is that we do have the secret pantries, and that's the thing like child diapers and everything like that. We do it here, but there the families have opportunity to earn it and then go in and get what they want. Here we can have to dish out our resources because they're very limited. But what it encouraged us to do was come back and see how we can engage the community to do some of that. They can actually, we call it time bank hours, but a lot of times they go out and time bank style, time bank don't have all this central. So we want to try to look at ways that we can be creative together to actually have them where they can access all the things that they need and not be so limited to the resources very quickly. A lot of the things that they get is only 1 week. They need once a month, once you go, that's it. But if we have a set where all these different places have those things, they probably get things throughout the week. Another thing that we learned was that the African American community were the one that created the mutual social network. And a lot of times we always hear the bad things about what African American people do. And back then, there were limited resources. They would put their resources together and build on that. And that really united a power within the two states. You know, this is not something new. This is old and it's been done. It's not over in Africa, but it was right over in New Orleans. And we had the opportunity to download this because we're going into a mutual financial networking. But we already been doing the social and didn't really realize that. And knowing that it came from our place, saying that's great because we can start off very limited and now we're moving into being resourceful. So those were the two dynamics that I gave to my church. Thank you.
My name is Brian Harrison. I'm with the Allied Co-op. I'm a welcome and everything. But my experience over the whole trip, phenomenal. Whoever thought that the problem no, it was phenomenal. But my first trip in South was in Memphis. Was Memphis or where? St. Louis. Okay. In St. Louis, it was tremendous and stuff. We met with, we went to co-op, we met with some other co-ops from St. Louis. They had together. They had, what was it, food? They had food down. You thought I got food down? They had it set up. It was together. You go in there, they got farmers and everything in the market. Everything. Phenomenal. We had a ball about that. Exactly. You ever say about that when you go to the house? It's nice. Oh, from there we went to Memphis. Well, we had visited Elvis Presley and State. We didn't go inside because I was going to visit somebody else. But we said the white right on the wall, right on the name on the wall, and right on the concrete and everything like that. There's plane right over there, the sky right there, you see that. But my favorite thing was, who was it? How did he build that noise right there? Okay. We had went down to New Orleans, downtown area, South Richmond, was walking along the way, 7 miles from Wallace, like that. Where they, still building, but okay. The worst part of it, you didn't see, I wish you could have seen the song backboard, that's what they did with the flood or stuff. But people coming back and they're probably move back and stuff. So we're going to go to the city. But anyway, going in something. We went to a we went to a jazz room. They going in so together. If you die, because of that, they got association like all of us got association, right? They got association. If you put money in the association, and they don't believe the settings and truth or whatever, they're there for the world. Now, when you start, we saw people out block off the street, you got your red man, you got your family, and everybody's black and white, jamming, and all in all, abundance. They're going in, all last night. I'm really down. They had gas, oh, yeah. And then, one of my favorite activities was like that. I went to American historical, American English. Where they had nobody never, you see in all the original Afro-American English. Them guys, they look, they 1 year, because they have a ceremony, the new God, you know what it says, the same, ceremony, what? They say 1 year. These things, the head set, they got the set, they got the back over everything. It takes 1 year, and these opposites, the culture, not culture, they way 359. You gotta say it. But when he showed me that ass, I said, hey. I brought that in.
So we go down to Port St. Louis, and we have to go to St. Louis during the time when there is a national crisis going on, and all the cameras are on St. Louis State First. And so we automatically are standing to sort of this. And so we meet with a group of people who are trying to come together and figure out how they can deal with this situation, with some of the other situations that are going on, where they staff are meant to be disproportionately treated by the criminal justice system. And these are this mind, the young mind, and I'm okay, these are young kids. So I know we're going to come up with some fresh stuff here, some fresh ideas. So I had my ears open, you know, and of course in St. Louis, and my mom's from St. Louis, so, you know, we stop by Street Pie, and of course we try to shop and do some of the other things that you do in St. Louis. But then we go to the Cash, and we see a time bank that has a store, and they have personal central pantry. But they also have something that was very creative, overly creative in Madison, and that's that they had a adult day center hooked to the pantry and all this land. In Madison, that day center would fund completely the personal central pantry and the clothing store and whatever else, so we generate enough income. I'm going to because I know this because I do adult daycare and things like that. So theoretically, they had something there that really could work, that really wanted to go. You know, I said, oh, okay, I got that now. I've got restorative justice in my hand here. I'm going to go back to Madison and find out where they are with restorative justice. I know somebody's doing something. I'm going back to this time, everything here, trying to figure out how we can put this together. Then we'll be on the road with you. I'm not too excited about this home. We go to Memphis, we go to Racing. I'm not too excited. We go through Mississippi, and I begin to, because of my heritage, because of my family's history, my spirit is there. Because it was such a struggle for my family to come out of that state and to come north. And so we get to Louisiana, and I'm walking through, and I said, I don't know. Now, I don't know because I'm sad again. I'm sad because I know what happened here. I was on the front line, I was coordinating Madison, trying to get people out there. And now I'm gonna go back down here and I'm gonna see watermarks where the water came up. We weren't in the night, you could still see watermarks where the water came up. So we went to the time that they were having a meeting there, and they're just getting off the ground. Like, you can do it, we did it, we're doing it in St. Louis, you can do it, we're gonna do this all over. So, you gotta stay in there, There you go, and Stephanie says we're going to this African American Museum. We're going to learn about the start of the essential mutual aid network. So that's okay. We go into the museum, and the way this works is, if you are part of a social organization, you pay in and you pay in, and this organization helps you. If you die, then they throw you a finger like this story, right? So, we just happen to be in there, and I'm looking at the costumes, and we realize that one is a mixture of things. And so we see, particularly in the American Indians, but we see the Mandingo tribe. Now, how that's in the sample. So what people don't understand is that my husband is West African, he is Mandingo. And he is Muslim. So, Mardi Gras traditionally is not something that they would participate in. And I'm looking around like, wow, that would be a big change for them. Because they wouldn't have, Mardi Gras symbolizes that Tuesday, the day before Passover, which is a Christian holiday. They didn't participate in that, which shows you how much of a change they had to make, states had to make, when they were brought over to New Orleans. So I started taking a picture, and it says Mandingo, and my husband was like, what? I was like, yes, they actually came and migrated in, and so now we have people who are Mandingo, they're Indian, they're Caucasian, they're mixed, and they call it Creole. And then we went downtown to the beach, and our whole city smelled like dinner. That's what I'm going to say for everybody last night. Our whole city smelled like dinner. But what I liked was I put all these pictures on Facebook, and people were like, what are you doing? What I got was spark interest. What are you doing? What's going on? My son is a musician who sat on that square and played. And he was like, Mom, what are you doing? Because a year ago, we were about to have our heart attack, and we were walking with a walk, and I stopped and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm not quite sure, but I believe that I am sitting on the edge of social justice and change. I'm not quite done, So what we got out of that trip was that there are bits and pieces of this all going on all over the country. Now, that is just a trip down the Mississippi River. I don't know what they're doing on the West Coast, I don't know what they're doing on the East Coast, but it's not easy to find out. So once we get this lovely grocery store built here on the island, once we get that done, then we want to find out, I feel restorative justice is something that's desperately needed. And again, I told the community, Madison did not happen in the fall where the Congress was allowed to just take over all of the new cases for restorative justice. That didn't just happen like that. They did a national study on Madison has the number one rate with racial disparities. That means that African American children and Caucasian children live so differently. This is the number one city in the country that they are treated and they live differently. And they recognize this. So they had to do something. And so I'm glad that I'm somewhere where they had to do something. Because I'm somebody who has to do something. And so that's what I got.
Hi, I'm Sina. So first and foremost, I want to say I'm so happy that we today have a Latin cooperative. I was there from the beginning, and it was hard work. So I'm very happy about that. As well as I'm excited about the User A Network, this is a new beginning. People have to work hard, guys going through something, going to workshops, going to studies, working very hard on it. What I did know, what I really learned about it was when I went to New Orleans, and the concept and what it's all about is something that actually we were doing growing up in a low income anyway. Things like rent parties and things like that, you know, making a difference in our community. So I'm very much excited about this pilot that we just started here on Allied Drive. And so I had the opportunity to ride with 5 community, 5 of us in an economic car. We really bond.
Let's make it up.
We really bond together. So we also, we had the opportunity to meet one of the families for the first time bank stores. That was exciting. We also, after doing that, we visited the pantry. Well, I found it very exciting because they had like all of these donating food to them, to their pantry. Here we are living in a place where there is no food. We have no food here. And that's something that I felt that at some point in the year now, that we will be going out asking stores to donate food to us. Because that's what we need in our community. This is a food, as they say, food desert. I don't know. But it's a community with many people in it of all color. And you don't have a grocery store. I just never heard of something like that. I'm from Chicago. I live in the Chicago Housing Authority. Okay? So we had a lot of people, and how can you live in, how can you have community with no store? Okay. But back to the trip that we had an opportunity to meet the rest of the people right now. I apologize about justice and things like that. I really got a lot out of that. I thank you guys for 20 years. The Arts of Hosting is something that I recall the first one that I ever attended was here in Madison. Actually ran off the rain. And I was told the ladies that I met, Claire and Laura. Laura, did she leave? Oh, there she is. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm bringing this workshop. The Brogan put his blood, but I learned so much about myself. I had an opportunity to go to Chicago and do a workshop with this lovely lady here and Miss Gloria. And like I was saying, being able to share, trusting yourself to share something, it meant so much. I grew so much from that, you know. So I can meet all you guys in this circle because I know a lot of you guys have been to all the different workshops. But man, right? Yeah, I haven't. But I know how hard she's been working on it. I go online and I look at the work there, and I get emotional. It's all right. Because I know we started it was really a trip. And to see it happen and to see our supposing growing and being a part of it is just so exciting to me. So I thank you all.
The people who paid for us to go are the Lily Street Co-op. We've been really very a number of individuals. We did a little crowdfunding campaign, so we got some money there. But so it was all great. But the Lily Street Co-op really supported us to go and learn about this, and they're really supporting us in developing a buying club as a interim step before we're able to open our own grocery store and pharmacy, which we intend to do. We've applied for $300,000 of city money to incentivize a grocery store, and we expect to get it. But this is going to take a long time for that to turn into a grocery store. So in the meantime, we're still pursuing working with Lily Street Co-op to create a buying club to have families here order food in bulk, and Lily Street is giving us the relationship with their vendors for the year, so we'll use their get it to a central place in the neighborhood, which we have yet to find. I noticed we don't have a solid meeting space. We use this space when we can. It took us a really long time to find what space would work for us today. So we are working on being able to have a neighborhood resource center too. We want all the organizations that are partners to be able to have one space where we can have our time-based stores, shared computers, shared sewing machines, run the buying club, workshops. We learned a little bit from Renee Marver, the founder of the original time, the first time making the country, Graceful Southern House in St. Louis. We learned from her about the neighborhood college model that they do, where anyone in the neighborhood can decide if they want to teach a class, and they have a process to see how interested people are in learning that, and they can earn time, make hours, and really like build the skills and knowledge of the neighborhood. And we want that. And all we need to do it is a space, because we have a lot of people ready to go.
I just want to say one more thing. Yesterday, the neighborhood had a meeting, had a celebration, a block party, whatever you want to call it. And I was really sad because I had both mayors from Pittsburgh and Madison that was standing out. And I said, oh my God, I got to get people here that need to see you. You know, and I turned around and he walked up to me, he was saying, the first thing he said, we're going to get you a grocery store. And I said, well, you know, that's what I'm expecting, that's what I'm expecting. So I'm really sorry that you guys didn't be there, but he did come out, he did come over here, and he is aware that we're not going to stop until we get a grocery store. I will open the grocery store tonight. I want you to go and contribute to my relief fund so that I get out of jail. I got jail. But I'm really making sure that people get back in here. He knows the political news. He knows he's not going anywhere. And so he just slid all over yesterday from one direction